What's up everybody, Maze here with another 1v1 cast. So apparently there's a rumor going around that beta for StarCraft 2 will open up starting July 1st. That's not confirmed as of yet, but I always thought that the beta would begin sometime around the beginning of July, and then it'd be up for a couple of weeks, and then probably shut down a week or so before the game comes out so that they can prepare for it. So, like I said, it's not confirmed yet. I think somewhere in the Team Liquid forums that was announced that they had some inside information about when it was going to be released. So, yeah, definitely excited about that so I can get some new games up and recorded for you guys. So, this is a 1v1 with LiquidTLO playing as Terran and Grez playing as Zerg. I've also noticed that there's kind of a huge TLO fervor out there. People really like to watch TLO play. I personally like TLO right off the bat because he was one of the only professionals that I saw who went random, and I thought that was really cool. So I think because TLO does go random, you see a lot of creative play from him, because in order to be able to succeed with all three races and not just stick with one in a dedicated fashion, I guess you do need to be kind of creative so that if you are going to be successful, you got to think of strategies for 3 different races instead of just one. So I always like to see TLO play, so this should be a fun match. I haven't seen this game before, so I have no idea what's going to happen. So TLO going for gas at around 13 SCVs. He is scouting right now, scouting at the 6 o'clock position, and he's probably going to find out where Grez is right away. Grez going for the spawning pool first. He's not going for the hatchery quite yet. I think he's saving up for it and is going to go for the hatchery second. Yeah, there's the hatchery right now. So he went the pool first and then a hatchery, kind of a conservative build, which is acceptable, I would say, because if TLO did spawn somewhere at the 6 o'clock position where he just was, then maybe he would have been in a little bit of trouble. But it is kind of standard to see people go 15 pool or 14 pool and then 15 hatch. I think he did something like that. So TLO has scouted this out, and Grez is clawing away at that SCV to get him out of the base. But right now we don't see too much from either player. I think TLO's probably going to be going Hellion Harass. He does have this factory coming out. We don't see Eminem. It's actually pretty rare that I see Eminem from in a TVZ. We see LiquidTLO's SCV hiding in the forest here. So an extractor being laid down. Pretty standard start for Grez. I think we're probably going to see... I wouldn't say we'd probably see speedlings, because I think Hellions are kind of a given in TVZ a lot of the time. So I don't think we'll see some speedlings. I think we're probably going to see a tech, either some roaches, if he does decide to stay in tier 1 for a while. But I think he might just try to go and tech into to a layer as soon as he can. So a couple of Zerglings trying to scout out. So TLO does have quite a bit of Marines here, and he is producing a Hellion, so I think he's going to try to force Grez to try to get some Zerglings so that he's going to have to defend against this. So I guess what TLO is trying to do is deny him a fast tech by putting pressure on him. Definitely TLO shouldn't just try to stand back and out-macro Grez, because he already has this hatchery, and TLO can't get a command center to compete against that. So definitely TLO is doing the right thing right now. He is building a bunker right here, which probably is why he has so many Marines. He is going to be able to solidify this position pretty well. But that is a lot of Zerglings coming out. I don't think this bunker is going to be able to finish, unfortunately. This queen moving as fast as it can without the creep. I think it might even go down, but there is another queen there. He is apparently trying to deny the queen or something. It looks like the queen's taking damage. Looks like he wasn't really paying attention there. But yeah, some Hellion Micro trying to get some lings down. TLO's still in a decent place to be harassing right now, because we don't see wings on these Zerglings yet. So he can still shoot some bolts from his Hellion. So yeah, one ling does go down. He's still putting the pressure on as much as he can. He is able to train those Zerglings around a little bit. we do see that Zergling speed is actually being upgraded, so TLO doing a good job trying to deny this guy some tech, but he does still have the layer up despite only having one extractor. So he's going to be able to get wings and a layer. Looks like TLO is going to Tech Lab and a Starport, which is good. I like to see that. And yeah, this is kind of typical as well. You will see that lots of Terran players will get the command center after their harass has kind of subsided. So we see some Vikings being produced right now. That should be good for the harass, trying to snipe out some Overlords and try to supply block him. These Zerglings are trying to get into position in case there is some kind of expansion being thrown down. But unfortunately for him, it is not there yet. Zergling's trying to break through this Marine crowd. He might actually have a pretty... Yeah, he is going to be able to kill those Marines. They are going down, so TLO right now in kind of an uncomfortable position. He doesn't have any units on the field yet. The Viking flying away. I don't think that Viking is going to try to go ground mode and defend against it. It looks like TLO is just going to keep repairing and hope that this Marine that's coming out is going to be able to deal with the Zerglings well enough. But it looks like this Tech Lab might be in trouble, so I'm not sure if TLO is going to be able to actually defend against this without... I think these Zerglings are going to be able to break through. Those SCVs are still going to hold as a meat shield for a little bit, so he might lose a couple of SCVs. SCVs are repairing each other. Good play by TLO. The tank is out, so these Zerglings aren't really going to be able to do all that much damage. TLO did a great job there defending against this little Zergling push here. Very good job with building placement. Lots of times conventional players will just kind of have their supply depots in a barracks out here, but I like to see what TLO did. He was like, you know, I don't really care if you see what my tech buildings are. I'm just going to build right here anyway because I think that's going to provide the best choke for me. Because supply depots really actually are pretty weak. A Tech Lab is even stronger than it, so good use of defensive maneuvering by TLO. We see that Grez does have a Hydralisk Den as well as a second expansion on the way, so Grez is very much so trying to keep this microgame up. We don't see a lot of drones here. It looks like he just put all of his drones here. I think that's because there are spore crawlers and it is a little bit better defended, so I guess that's not such a huge deal. He does lose some mining time bringing those drones over there, but yeah, I don't know. This isn't really saturated yet. His main base is not saturated yet, so I think for the amount of expansions that Grez has, he really doesn't have the drone count for it yet. So he's really going to have to pump out lots of drones if he wants to make these two expansions work well, while at the same time having enough units to avoid harass. But I think Grez realizes that, and he is bringing in his Zerglings to try to put pressure on LiquidTLO, not the other way around. There is this Viking here, but it doesn't seem like it really has done too much yet. So despite him making this Viking, I don't really think there is going to be much done with it. Thors and tanks right now for TLO with some Marines. He is making this bunker here. Again, using buildings to try to protect his units. He's going to try to avoid a Thor surround on those from those Zerglings if they do come. So good placement of the Thor. But in terms of what units Grez has, he really only has a couple of Zerglings, and I think I see Baneling cocoons being morphed in right now. Yeah, so Banelings are going to be coming on in the field. This could be bad for TLO. They kind of have a free entrance right here into the base, but there are siege tanks, so these Banelings actually might be in trouble. He is going to need to do some highly maneuverable micro on this mineral line here. If he does want to use those Banelings well enough, he'd probably have to send in his Zerglings first, but I'm not sure if he's willing to take that risk just yet without getting some other units. In production right now, there really isn't all that much. It seems like Grez is still trying to macro up right now, and as he should. I think that is definitely what he should be doing because he does have these expansions. Looking at the income tab, TLO is still ahead. Those mules, despite him having a second expansion, those mules are still pumping TLO ahead of Grez. So Grez is really going to need to do a lot of macro if he does want to up this single expansion by LiquidTLO. However, the longer the TLO does only have the single expansion, the better off Grez will be. So hopefully TLO will probably try to send a command center over here. One thing I like about these big 2v2 maps is the fact that you can do things like send out a command center over here. There is a drone over, right now, but I do like